People of this era have so much advantage to do so much, but having so much at your disposal is also a problem. People get tired when everything they're doing doesn't seem to be catching the required attention. Push yourself until those people you want to see should see you and do business with you. At best, you can diversify, but still keep your craft. Still keep your craft, still do what you do.
Feels so good to have you today on another edition of the Experience Show, where we bring all the creatives there is in the landmass of Port Harcourt on the show, and they get to let us into the journey of success and how they began. Joining me today, I have one of Port Harcourt's leading legends. The fun part of this is I have known him since I was a child. I mean, I used to watch his musical video on RSTV back then. I mean, to those particular residents of Port Harcourt, you can really relate to RSTV. When it's 3 p.m., they'll play his song, his musical videos, and they'll be like, this brother. And today, it's quite fortunate, or it is fortunate that I'm so happy that I'm actually hosting him on the show today. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me as I make welcome one of our very own, who is an MC, an OAP, a consultant, and he has a big name in the city of Port Harcourt when it comes to media. He has, of course, carved a niche for himself. Join me as I make welcome Mr. Robinson Akpu.
Thank you.
Wow.
Yes, sometimes I feel very old when people tell me, I used to watch you on RSTV. And I think to myself, how long ago was that? Was that not yesterday?
It wasn't yesterday. It wasn't yesterday. It feels so good to have you on the show, sir.
Thank you.
And
thank
besides,
you.
you're looking so styled up.
Yes, I'm an Izo man, so
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep up that Niger Delta vibe
Yeah.
in everything I do, to just represent my people and give the people of this region some form of courage to stick to their identity. I would have worn something crazy, but I just thought to myself, I'm going on camera, so let me look like my people.
True. All right. Speaking of your people, there's been a lot of questions bottled up that I would want to dissect.
No, shoot. I'm here. Let's go.
All right. So back then you were in a music group.
Yes.
Where we have Minister Aso Ekinye and the likes of Vitamin C was there. We had 2K.
Yeah.
And we had you.
Yeah.
So at the time it happened that you all separated and probably went your different ways.
I understand.
Yeah.
No, what really happened was we were in River State Polytechnic. It was River State Polytechnic then.
Oh.
We were in Bori. So we had an a cappella group.
Okay.
We used to do a cappellas, then Boys to Men, Shy, and all these, the Winan Brothers. Many a cappella groups were floating in the airwaves, so we decided to be doing their songs. And from doing their songs to going to departmental nights, we started getting invitations to perform in churches and certain events. That's how we formed the group VOP. Okay. Very organized people.
Wow.
Or for the church folks, they call us vessels of praise. Because when we say we're very organized, they say, that name exists somewhere. They say, okay, you guys are just vessels praising God. So it was during that singing from concert to concert that we met Asu Ekie. And I guess he liked our voices and our blend, and he opted to have us as part of the New Dimension.
Wow.
So we did, not like we collapsed our group, but we decided to join him in the hopes that while singing with him, we could develop our skills and also extend gain popularity, extend our tentacles to new environments. And it so happened that we shot a video for one of our songs, and we had him do a cameo. So that cameo now made people, these guys, they're actually a group different from Asu Ekie. That was when people knew. For some, it was like, those Asu boys. Those Asu boys. To those who didn't know, it felt like, Asu Ekie has brought a group of boys to the limelight.
Yeah.
But for us, for those who knew us, it was like, these boys don't struggle, so they Asu don't begin carry them, they work out. But at the end of the day, it was all good because he gave us the opportunity to develop our skills in terms of live performance, in terms of self-control, in terms of learning the basics of being an artist.
Wow.
So we did everything that a band would do, from rehearsals to prayers to everything that a complete musician should know. We were forced or somehow trained to do. We did all that together, rehearsed together, fasted together, traveled together across the length and breadth of the country. And then I remember then the band just came to the limelight.
Yeah.
So we met DJ in Lagos, and DJ shot a video for the band Tongolo. Oh yeah, Tongolo.
Yeah.
Baba, you must shoot this, you must shoot video for us. Then we didn't have video directors in Port Harcourt. We probably had like 2 persons who were doing videos that were on a
Low
certain.
budget,
No,
yeah.
I wouldn't want to call it low budget, because at that time, I mean, how much did we even spend on that video? We paid DJ 150,000.
That was a lot.
And
back then.
our transportation, hotel accommodation, everything together was probably like 300,000. And that 300,000 as of that time was why.
It was a lot.
It was like 20 million now.
True.
Yeah, because I mean, then people didn't have cameras. People didn't have
smartphones.
I mean, there were no
all of that.
smartphones. We recorded from that tape. We recorded with that tapes and transferred to rewritable CDs, and now went on to mass producing
various copies.
cassettes, and not even CDs, cassettes. Yes, that was what we started with. So the journey with Aswiki opened us up to the industry. Yes, it opened us up to the industry. It opened us to the church. It changed our perception of things. And today, if I talk about the church community, for those who don't know, they might think, this guy is just talking. But for those who know, you know that, yes,
Being grounded in it.
This is where I was trained.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, looking at your experience, the wealth of experience you've gathered over time around the sector entertainment, basically, do you feel like the new generation Z kind of artists that we are having now, they're opportune, or they have similarly that kind of information or knowledge? Looking at how most of them tend to go into the music, drop the kind of songs they do, regardless the genre.
Yes.
Right. And also, do you think that the same kind of information you got was equally the same kind of information your counterparts, your peers at that time had?
No,
perhaps if they
not really.
That means for the fact they didn't have that kind of information, that's like why they went off the scene for a while.
Some got better information and moved. I recall when one of those days, I think it was at opposite Hotel Presidential, we're just having a chat where they sell, there's one spot they sell power bikes. Yeah. Opposite Presidential, there's a studio upstairs where Frank De Niro had a studio. Duncan Mighty was one of the producers in the studio. Duncan Daniels, who is now in America, was one of the producers in the studio. So that evening we had everybody. Timaya came to buy a power bike because then he just signed a deal with Danko Music. So he came to buy a power bike, and we're just talking. And I said, "Oh man, I've been hanging out with Idris, and Idris said this, Idris said that. When I Lagos, so information then you had to go out and get it. We didn't have the flurry of social media information we have now. We didn't have AI where you can just ask a question, or you didn't have auto-tune where you could sing off key and they just balance the entire song from the beginning to the end. And most people then who were recording music had to do it and make sure you did it right. You had to write, you had to sing on key. Today, a lot of people don't do that. There's even the producers of today. A producer can sit in 5 minutes and produce a song because there are samples everywhere. Couple this beat sample, copy the sync sample, copy the horns, and just paste together, and the next thing you have a song. As a matter of fact, our first recordings were done on Cakewalk. That was before Cubase, before Fruity Loops. It was on Cakewalk. So you can imagine the level of information that has gone out now. The people of this era have so much advantage to do so much, but having so much at your disposal is also a problem because you wouldn't want to learn how to sing right. For instance, if I tell somebody, if I go as a coach to a singing competition and I say, that person is good, but you're not singing well. Your riffs are not normal. You don't have vocal strength. You're not doing certain things. The people of this era, Baba, they talk plenty. I beg. See this person, see Charlie Poppy. Charlie Poppy is not singing. He's not singing on key. He's just talking, and people are buying it. So the too much information is also a problem. Some of the people you said phased out, not really, it's not really that they phased out. People get tired when everything they're doing doesn't seem to be catching the required attention. When you go for an event and you sing, after spending money to record a song, spending money to buy costumes, rehearse, and you come to sing and you don't get appreciated, people get discouraged and just feel, let me go into another business. Some just went to another business. Some traveled out of the country to go do other things. But for people like us, we just decided to be diversifying.
Around entertainment.
Yeah, around the scene. Like if you don't see me singing, you might see me at an event talking. If you don't see me at an event talking, you might hear my voice somewhere doing a voiceover. It's just about diversifying. That's why you think some people have disappeared. You think, this person is no longer. I think most people just diversified.
All right. Speaking of diversifying, you diversified into the radio scene.
Yes.
You started working with Rhythm.
Yes.
So what was the journey like? How did you transcend from
from music to radio?
Yeah,
I was with
How was it?
I was with Asueki and the New Dimension, and we went for one event. I think it was an event organized by the then I think it was the executive director of finance and administration, Chief Timi Alaibe. He had an event in Lagos at a hotel, and the main acts were the band and Asueki. So while backstage, the event was not really set yet. They were still setting up, but people had sat down already. So there was need to tell the people to relax, that the event will kick off any moment from now. But the host didn't want people to know that she was there already. So she came backstage and said, I need somebody to just say on the mic, just tell them that we'll soon kick off, or just say something to calm the audience down. And Asueki pointed to me and said, give him the mic. So she just came and gave me the mic, and I just said, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please, we'll kick off the event any moment from now. Sorry for the delay. Thank you for coming. Thank you for your patience. Just relax. You're going to have a wonderful evening. And she looked at me and said, are you on radio? I said, no. She said, are you on TV? I said, no. She said, do you do anything media? I said, no. She now said, so how did you know what to say? I said, I've been watching TV. From my childhood days, I've loved cartoons. I've loved programs. I love to listen to professionals. I watch news in different languages, even those I don't understand. Some to learn about their posture, some to learn the basics of presentation, just to see, this is how this set looks. This is how these people do it. This is how these other people do it. So I just told her I learned from TV and I learned from watching people like you. So she said, wow, do something about it. And I came back to Port Harcourt and started thinking, okay, this lady said I should do something, that I have a voice. What do? I can't go on radio because I don't know jack about radio. So what do? And now,
And I guess it wasn't what you studied in school, mass
I
communication.
studied business administration and management.
Wow.
I knew nothing about mass communication. So I got back, and then Silverbirds Radio 93.7 just came to Port Harcourt, and JAJ and LD were the ones doing test transmission. So I went there, I met LD and told him, look, I love radio, I love music. How do I get into this? I said, okay, go into the studio, let's hear your voice. And I did some takes, and he just called me to the side and said, your voice is good. Yes, you've got the voice, but you're not there yet. He didn't break it down to me. I said, guy, tell me my issue. He just said, you need to know what broadcast journalism is. You need to know what mass communication is. And that's not something we can teach you on radio. A lot of people want to learn on the job, but it's not really right. And when he told me that, and I decided to start searching. So I called some elders or people who I respected in the scene, like Mablas Macaulay Apoloma Jr. He used to be on radio here before going to Bielsa. I called him. I called another big brother who was in Treasure FM. He said, Robbie, what you need to do is go study this with people who are teaching. We that are working can't be teaching you while working. I said, okay. So I went to Alpha Institute of Broadcasting and Communication. They were in town. So I called the helpline, the registration line, and it was the DG that picked up the phone. And I told him, sir, I would love to be trained as a broadcast journalist. I would love to come learn what it means to be a journalist or a media person. And I said, I can hear your voice, but I don't hear your grammar. And that was when it dawned on me that I could talk, but I don't have the mastery of communication, which means I have to go and learn the basics of phonetics. I had to go and learn English communication again after school, because there's no way you can go and start talking in public without knowing what communication is. And from studying, I got to learn that, a broadcast professional should have certain characteristics. There are certain things you must have to be respected. And one of the first things I was told was, you have to communicate to reach everyone. You have to communicate in such a manner that a professor would listen to you and say, okay, this person sounds right and knows what they're saying. And you have to communicate in such a way that a naive person will listen to you and say, I like the way this person talks. I want to emulate. I want to learn. So you're a teacher, you're a communicator, and you're also enlightening society. That was how I got my whole transition to radio became a reality. So after my course at AIBC, I was
sent. How long?
I did that course for 3 months. Okay. And that 3 months, I was one of the, how would you call them now? The runaway students who was always busy, because I'm in class on Monday, on Tuesday, we're going to Wari, on Thursday, we're back, I'm in the next class, and that weekend, I'm going to Abuja. So we're just running up and down. And one day, my DJ looked at me and said, are you sure you want to graduate this course? I said, yes, sir. So after the course, I said, okay, where would you like to go? People were mentioning where they wanted to go for internship. I didn't say anything. He just told me, okay, I'm sending you to Radio Rivers. I said, hey, Radio Rivers. He said, don't worry, when you get there, you will understand. So some of us were sent to Radio Rivers. There's this me and two other friends were sent to Radio Rivers. Myself, Cecilia now, if you go online, she's the Port Harcourt billboard lady. She advertises billboard on social media. So she was my course mate. That was my internship mate at Radio Rivers. So she was studying something else in school, but because of communication and broadcast journalism, we were in Radio Rivers. And I got to learn from people like Florence Ikie, Innocent Aquilo, all the names you've heard on radio. I got to sit down and watch them record, watch them have fun, watch them run the studio. Afterwards, I decided to apply for a job. I applied there. I applied at Silverbirds Communication. I applied at Radio Bielsa. And I was waiting. And they all called me the same time. Said, come and start.
So it was you to spot the choice?
Yes. I thought to myself, I won't go now. Do I go to Bielsa? Do I go to Radio Rivers? I said, Radio Rivers, they've already trained me. Let me go somewhere else. That was how I got to Rhythm. And that was how people heard my voice on radio.
So how was your journey between you and Vitamin T? Or were you the one who inspired him to go into radio?
Exactly. Because I left the band. I left Asueki and the New Dimension to just go to radio. I think I just had to leave music for a while to study and groom myself to a point where if I communicate with anyone, it doesn't matter what, even if they're a PhD holder or whatever, if I do my job and they hear me, they will appreciate me that I've been trained. So I had to let music go and pay attention to studies just so I can be good at that. So leaving music, I got into the media. The whole time I spent getting trained and going on to radio, even those who knew me before would hear me on radio and be like,
yeah, you don't go
no, that don't be this. Don't be the way they talk be this now. until they now got close and realized, oh, so you actually took time to learn this. I said, yes. So a lot of friends came and said, okay, they want to diversify also. So I brought out handouts, some of my old handouts, some of my tapes, and said, okay, go study this, listen to this, learn about this, get a Daniel Jones pronunciation dictionary to help you with English pronunciations. Then also pay attention to your Nigerian pronunciations, because as a presenter, you can't afford to sound fake. There's a lot of fake people out there. I say it without an iota of, no man, there are a lot of fake people out there. Sometimes I listen to some on the radio and I just go, come on there. I just turn it off. Like if I'm the head of that station, you won't get employed. I don't like people who come and so, you know, this is Rumo Koro, you're at Rumo Koro. No. I was trained to just talk the way you talk, but respect the people's pronunciation. I can't afford to call an Ikwere name like an Englishman. And I can't afford to call an Ogoni name like a Calabari man. You have to call the Ogoni name like an Ogoni man. You have to mention the Calabari name like the Calabari man. So being a broadcast journalist opened my eyes to the fact that your job is way bigger than you know. So I had to do all of that just to become me.
Wow. This is beautiful. I mean, this is quite a journey. This is
truly. It was a journey. It is a journey because I'm still on the journey of self-discovery. Yes.
Yeah. So now let's move a bit from you and let's look at the impact this is actually, brought into the entertainment sector. Just like I told you off cameras, that if we get to talk about the names of individuals that have contributed to the entertainment sector right here in Port Harcourt, of course, from the list of 1 to 10, your name might just fall in between 5 and 4. And going by that and looking at how the entertainment has really, really been structured, would you really say that there might just be a room for most of our creatives that actually left the space, knowing fully well that the Gen Z's creatives are dogged. They keep pushing and, they want to be heard. And having given an opportunity for some of our the previous creatives, and let's just say they didn't utilize it, or the social media was not really in vogue, that might just be an excuse. Do you think that there might actually be an opportunity for them in this current dispensation?
Yeah, there is. The opportunities now are enormous. I mean, opportunities are according to the times.
Yeah.
Now, some people back then would say, it's really hard to promote music. But it's harder now because then we just had Treasure FM, NTA, RSTV, Radio Rivers, before AIT and Silverbird now came in. So as a creative, if you want to promote your content, you would have to go to like 4 radio stations. So your resources, your publicity funds, it's not that much. Yes, it's not within your pocket because still you have to struggle for that. Yeah. But it has a limit you can spend on. And the income was not really there. For instance, you record a song, you spend, like the video I said we did with DJ T, we spent close to maybe 300 and something thousand on that video. Then spent another little money to promote it on Music Africa, RSTV, and NTA. There were no social media channels that you could put your song, so you don't get the leverage, the reach that you wanted. Yeah. Today, we can be done recording this and you put it online, and somebody in Norway can see it and call. Somebody in Amsterdam can call, say, I saw this video. Like somebody called me this morning to say, man, I just see your video, that Timaya video. I see you and Sabinus and they chop for Timaya video. And I'm like, see, times have changed. Then it was hard for somebody abroad to hear your voice. Then it was a task for somebody in Lagos to hear your song. Our song played on Music Africa in Lagos because of the production team we used.
Okay.
Because of the team we used. Now, if a team produces a content for you and they have a program on TV, they will definitely add your content to theirs to show that this is what we've done. So then it was hard. Today, it's even harder. In as much as there's social media that you can record with a smartphone and put it out there, you still need money to push. You still need money to pay subscriptions for some of those promoters that you want. So if somebody spends 500,000 in 2002 to promote a song,
now you're probably going to spend like 20 million.
Now you spend. Okay, I was with Timaya when he came to shoot this song, Payback.
Yeah, that was some weeks ago.
I was with him, and in the hotel, I realized that hotel bills alone. The hotel bills alone. I mean, hotel bills, you're talking millions. Then you now talk of the crew, the cost of tickets. Now people could spend as much as 22 million on shooting a video. Then you now have to look for another 10 to 20 million to promote that song. So people go as far as spending 50 million on one song. So if you don't hear somebody today, it doesn't mean they're not good. It doesn't mean they don't know how to sing. It doesn't mean they don't have good content. It's all about the resources. Times have changed. It is easier now to put your song out there, but it is harder to get heard. Why I say it's harder to get heard is when you're scrolling through your phone, like everybody scrolls. If you see something, it takes 2 seconds for you to flip over. I just see something. Watch this video. Watch this. I see somebody sing. Like there's this girl. I just saw her song. That was one thing I used to do back then. I could be going home or somewhere. I just hear a good song, and I'll go and look for the song to go and play on radio.
Really?
Yes. Even till date, trust me, there are DJs and presenters who do that. That people would think, you must pay this DJ, you must pay this presenter. No, everybody that loves good music wants to play good music on their show. In as much as they want to do publicity for others and get paid, there's some good songs. Like, what was that girl's song? Everything under you. The moment I heard that song, I said, this girl is good. I put that song on replay in my car till my kids knew the song. That's how a DJ or a radio person loves a song and decides to promote it.
Now, speaking of radio persons, because I know I have few radio persons or personalities, and they go by, saying this, that they earn little. So they see the payola stuff, you pay me, I play your song on radio as another means to, keep up. Because ordinarily, looking at how much they earn, it's nothing. So during your time, because you said off cameras that, MK's songs then that was really trending, was as a result of you and some other meaning presenters who saw the reason to actually promote Port Harcourt. Do you feel like the same energy is what we have currently?
No, the energy is no longer there. And I'll tell you this. That's because people disrespect who pave way for them. It's like there's this analogy people give a lot of times. They say, the moment it stops raining, the moment the rainy season ends, your rain boots, your umbrella becomes nothing.
Yeah.
You just throw away your umbrellas. Keep it till next year when it starts raining. So people don't appreciate what DJs and presenters do for them. I remember during my days as an intern in Radio Rivers, one of the persons who really gave so much to make sure Robinson became somebody, Innocent Akilo, may God rest his soul. He was actually one of those who signed my graduation paper, signed Shorty for me. He did practically everything to make sure that I stayed the course. And then he would tell me, this is how Michael Cree, this one, that one, and the showman, this is how most of them were our friends. But the moment they become stars, they don't want to talk to you again. They become so big. They become too big to relate with you. And that happened when I got to radio. I started seeing that happen. So, and I saw that the DJs and presenters just felt, at the end of the day, when you become a star, I won't see you. You won't mention my name in interviews. You won't appreciate me. So let me go by the book. Payola is wrong. But if you want it to play, you will do something to make it play. It's like your promotion. Even the big TV stations, the ones you hear that are on the MTV, whatever you hear, all the stations you hear, people pay to get played. There's a fee for every content, every programming. Say for social program, the fee is 5 million naira. For social program, the fee is 2 million naira. It's because the industry doesn't pay those people enough to give you that level of publicity. So if they're doing that work for you, they require you to oil the engine. For some, they have a program that's playing on radio, and they bought that airtime to do a 30 minutes program. So you wouldn't expect me to come and play your song in my 30 minutes program that I'm paying for without you adding to my budget.
Sure.
Say, okay, I'm spending 400,000 to get an episode of my content on TV. Even if it's 50,000 or 20,000, you decide to say, Baba, buy fuel so that if you think of me during your programming.
Yeah.
So the payola came from that angle of, hey, ease my burden a bit so I too can help you. So you can't really, I don't really blame DJs or OAPs for telling people to pay, because it's not their job to play your music. You do your music, you promote your music. That's why even DJs and OAPs that I know that don't play my music, I don't get angry at them. I say, if it's what you want, you go ahead. If it's not what you like, you let the music be. There are some who have told me, well, your music no be this, your music too classy for my program, so I won't play it. Whatever you want to do, it's promotion. If you want to promote your music, if you want to be heard, you will pay. Even Facebook today, you have to pay for sponsorship, for promotion, for sponsored ads, for your songs to reach a certain number of people.
Audience,
because the algorithms on Twitter, on Facebook, online, the algorithms have changed. So you have to pay those companies also. So if you can pay YouTube, if you can pay promoters on Spotify, if you can pay people on all these platforms to do promotions for you, why can't you give the DJ in your environment something to help also spread your music or your good work? So payola, it looks bad, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. Now, looking at how the entertainment sector basically in River State is being structured, especially Port Harcourt, because this seems like where a lot of big things happen. And of course, the city has actually catapulted a lot of creatives to the international limelight. Has enough been done in this state already compared to what was done?
No. As a matter of fact, after the era of Rotimi Amechi, I think we went backwards like 20 years. Because during the era of His Excellency Chibuike Rotimi Amechi, that was when Duncan Mighty had his peace concert, and we were there. Polo Club was filled up. It was free. Polo Club was filled up. Everybody, Flavor, MI, everybody you can think of came through. Everybody came through. And after that, there was Miss ECOWAS, there was Canny Reeve, there was fashion shows, Iron Film Festival, World Book Capital. Entertainment and creative activities were being supported. So you could see fashion designers having opportunities to mingle with international designers. You saw our actors mingling with foreign actors who came for International Film Festival. You saw our creatives being happy in their region because they had events they could attend.
And also being paid.
Yes. It was then that we had Odudu Awards, and we also had Niger Delta Advancement Awards. So people were being awarded for their works. People were being supported for their efforts. People were being empowered for trying to bring the zone or the region to the limelight. But after then, it's as if something happened and everyone just stopped looking at the creative sector. The creative sector now became a group of beggars to them. Because I see no reason why a politician will come into a club and all the musicians and creatives in one seat will now leave and go and sit beside the person. Bro. I'm not saying it's wrong. It's good to hail master. But they wouldn't do that in Lagos.
True.
Instead, you go in, bros, you sit down and say, okay, those my boys are there, my creatives are there. Give them 10 bottles of so and so, or support them. Rather, you want them to come, or you want to call them, say, hey, Rabu, what's up? Sing that song for my girl. Sing that song for my girl. You know, start singing. Hey. So the creatives they were moving. The pace we're moving at that time was very fast. And all of a sudden, we were cut off. And these abnormal cuts along the way affected Port Harcourt. Because I can tell you vividly that when chocolate music started, they were traveling around the country to do promotions. And they do Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt. All the multinational companies, all the big companies doing events, they will do Lagos, Port Harcourt, Abuja. Or in some cases, they will now add Benin. At some point, it became Lagos, Abuja, no Port Harcourt. At some point, it became Lagos, Benin, Lagos.
Oh.
Everything died here. Why? Because the Lagos scene supports their people. The Ministry of Culture and Tourism in Lagos supports their actors, supports their creatives. If you want to go record in certain places, or if you have an event that you're putting up, it was easier to get across to the state government to support. I mean, then, like I said, Odudu Awards, we had the governor coming for the Odudu Awards that was being organized by Port Harcourt people. And it was Port Harcourt Odudu Awards. So when you have the governor of a state coming for an event,
Means a lot.
it means a lot. I mean, people most of us were backstage just saying, Governor Dale, Governor Dale. Even if the governor wasn't giving you anything, the government apparatus was there.
Sharing the same stage with the governor.
Sharing the same place. I mean, I one of those nights at Canny Reef where the microphone was, I think one microphone was misbehaving. The governor now turned and looked at me and said, "Is this a mic you were using since?" I said, "Yes, sir." You know, so why is it not? I said, maybe they're changing the batteries. I just whispered, they're changing the batteries. And I said, okay. We never had that type of relationship with the former governor. No, I'm just saying the truth.
True.
We went backwards so many years, not just with the state government, all federal government agencies in the region started disrespecting creatives. The disrespect for creatives got to a point where we had to rely on comedians to drag the people's attention. I don't know if you get my picture.
Yeah.
Now, you sing and you're like, what is he singing? But the same thing you sing, others outside would sing less and they would give them.
Yeah.
I remember an event that happened somewhere in GRA. They brought an international jazz artist to come sing. And I set up, I was the one that did the setup for her because they called me and said, okay, we're bringing an international act and we need somebody who has an ear for that level of sound so she wouldn't come and complain. After setting up, she came, she enjoyed it. We performed together using the same equipment. And at that same event, I saw people from this region who were trying to farms, as people would say, trying to farm this international girl. While we're all backstage just yapping, talking. Some guys came in and said, "Yo, hey, I met you in New York at that event. We're also at Colorado at welcome to Port Harcourt. This is our zone. Welcome to the Niger Delta. Here is $15,000 for you and your crew."
What they would not do to any of our creatives here.
The moment they brought out the $15,000, I'm like, oh boy. And I did the sing for these guys front scene, so let me open this stage. They don't even give me one bottle. They can't give out They can't give out $15,000 to my front. Even the owner of the place, I think it was at Lamborghini. Yeah. So Moby even came to me and said, "Rob, you see our people? You see our people? They just gave Somi $15,000." I said, yeah, bro. I said, yes. I was here when they gave her. You see, you saw it, right? She just came to tell me now. I said, yes, that's the thing. The support level we have here, I don't know if it's fear or if it's hatred or if it's jealousy for someone being a creative or while they're not. I can't place my fingers on it, but I just feel there wasn't any support until people started seeing comedians cash out.
But sorry, do you feel it was the government? Because before something happens in a particular place, you can't be crying wolf when there is no wolf. What I mean is, don't you think these creatives might have, started this fight inside, and maybe he got an intel to the government that these people are
I'm
not
not
really
serious.
together, or they're not
No, I
serious, and
think
maybe
that
they
for
start.
if we blame any set of creatives in River State for the backwardness or the lack of push, I think the sector, the group of creatives who blame fully is the Performing Musicians Association of Nigeria,
PMAN.
PMAN, yes, because for so many years, PMAN River State was just like, it now felt like a political group where to get elected, you have to go and meet this politician to help you get votes. And the politicians were the one controlling everybody. And it was just a group of people. And this group of people are different from the group of people who are actually doing a different kind of music. So the politics of the region affected the entertainment industry. The politics of the region, except you have a leader who is disconnected with that ideology, everybody will still seem that way. Now, there was one time, I think it was last year, we had a concert, and after the concert, the state government was supposed to clear some offsets that we had, and they didn't want to pay. So we thought to ourselves, okay, tomorrow we'll go protest. We'll go stand for road, carry placard. We'll see whether if the international community see us, they talk, whether shame no go catch them, they go give us our change. That night, the police got wind of it, and they called the PMAN chairman. And the PMAN person went there and said, there was nothing like that. And I'm like, you didn't come for the event. You are not part of it. Instead of you to say, some of my people are being owed by the government, so they should be paid, you went there and started saying something else. These are the little things that led to all these disrespects.
Yes, I make them see us.
So yeah, make them see you
serious.
like nothing.
Yeah.
I make that look at you like nothing when you're actually putting in the work. Now, this was just yesterday. Before now, if the state government or the state wants to do something, the musician body that was recognized is that PMAN. So they'll call those people. And those people would not want to listen to a set of people. They will just go with their set of people.
Their cartel.
That's the word. Their cartel. And when you keep going with your cartel, and you go with your cartel, you get 100K, you go with your cartel, you get 200K, you now place yourself within that 100 and 200K. And these other persons are on the side are saying, I'm not a 100K, 200K person. This is my bill. And these persons will go there and say, Shun that man, I beg, waiting in the sing. So the disrespect for the creatives were also caused by the creatives of this region. If you check at some point, the comedians were also fighting. All these fights happen, but if you're not there, you won't know.
No.
So all these fights now make the industry shift from the people. I mean, I might know an investor. I might know someone who loves to invest in events or who loves to support creative. And you decide to come to the person to see, you present a proposal to the person. The person now comes to me and say, Rob, so and so says he says he wants to. Elvis said he wants to have an event. What do you think? I just go, Baba, show that one. You don't know what thing they do. This person wants to do something. No. I have to approve before you sponsor. Wow. So those things happened over time, from the music scene to the comedy scene, and they were all directed at the government and the investors. An investor comes in, wants to invest, you discourage them because they are not investing in you. The government wants to do something, you discourage it, or
because it's not passing
you
through.
malign those who are supposed to be beneficiaries because they are not your brothers, they are not your friends, they are not your loyalists. And we've all seen the picture. We've seen the picture now. We've seen the clear picture now that we have riffraffs everywhere in the business. We have uncouth professionals sounding like they know what they're doing.
They know nothing.
God forgive us.
Honestly, I've really learned a lot about the industry here, because it's deeper than one can actually imagine or think. It goes beyond just the singing part, even the business part. Just as you rightly said, they had already painted us black in the front of investors and even the government, and it's obviously going to be it's going to need a lot to get us cleaned up. And before I'd let you go, to some creatives that are, down the south. I wouldn't just see Port Harcourt because we have amazing creatives in Akwa Ibom, in Bayelsa, in Benin, keeping it real, pushing their hustle and trying to make ends meet with their craft. To those particular creatives who don't even know how to stand, where to go from, and a lot of things, what would be your word of encouragement to them?
Just keep pushing it out there. The music of today, there was a time when record marketers would pay you for your album and buy the album off you and sell. And we moved past that era to the era of record companies now signing Nigerian artists and paying you upfront. The upfront payment now is for you to promote, shoot videos, and make sure you're seen and heard. So what you have to do is push yourself until those people you want to see should see you and do business with you. You don't have to stop because you were hoping that Robinson would invest in you. You don't have to stop because you were hoping that Mr. XYZ would promote you and he didn't promote you, so you're discouraged and you stop. No. At best, you can diversify, but still keep your craft. Still keep your craft, still do what you do. So many people started off as musicians, ended up as comedians, and started making money through comedy. Yeah. Some started as dancers. I know some who started as dancers, like Dan the Humorous.
Really?
Yeah. Dan the Humorous, I remember 2 events where he came as part of the crew for our video. Even Arinze Baba, I remember when it was Arinze Baba, Princess Ikaya, Dan the Humorous. They were the set of young comedians that we saw then, like, okay, these are guys that they keep them up, that they try. But because of the tightness of the industry, they had to be diversifying from doing sound to doing stage to next thing doing comedy to now being somewhere else. You just have to keep going. You don't know when you will hit that particular point you want to hit, but you don't have to stop. You don't have to stop. You just have to keep going.
You already heard it. You don't have to stop. You need to keep going. You never can tell when the big break will happen.
Exactly.
You need to keep going.
Big break.
Yeah. So at this junction, I'll say for myself that I've really learned a lot, and I certainly know you have learned a lot as well. I will be joined the curtain close for the Experience Show. But before I do that, we'd love to get your handles. We have to follow you up. We have to find you on social media.
Okay.
Just in case we have questions and we want
definitely.
to consult.
Definitely. At X, Facebook, and Instagram is at Robinson Akpu, at ROBINSONAKPU. At Robinson Akpu. I don't post that much. I don't write that much because most times when I write or post, I'm a very conscious person. Sometimes I write and I get threatened by government and other individuals, but I don't write that much these days, but I'm always there to interact. I'm actually glad that what's happening now is happening because there was a time when we tell Port Harcourt people to invest in opening studios, podcast studios, little media outfits, and they would question you. I can't tell you how many proposals we've written, how many people we've tried to get to invest in what we're doing, but hey, it doesn't have to stop you, like I said, but we're glad. I'm particularly glad that so many people are beginning to invest in this sector, knowing that it will pay. It may not come immediately, but it will pay.
Definitely. All right, thank you so much for doing this with us. And of course, don't forget to follow us up on our social media platform at Tepoctv. And yes, until I come your way on the next edition of the Experience Show, I still remain your host, Elvis Vitalis.